Hello everyone, Seraphin here, welcome back for more Metroid Fusion. When I last met you guys, we were grabbing some more tanks, and I also informed you that we're almost done. There's only a couple left. In fact, there's only 2 left in this particular sector, so we will be done with tank hunting very shortly. In fact, here's one of them now, in this next little area that we have to screw attack through. And that brings us into this little room here. Right above where we oh geez. In fact, I need to be careful here because you don't want to kill those little guys. You don't want to kill these little guys. At least, well, you don't want to kill all of them. You want to leave at least one of them alive. And I will demonstrate that in a moment as soon as, you know, I'm just going to show you right now. So what you need to do is bomb right there, and that will cut off this little part here. Now you might be wondering, well, you just got to jump over there to get that, right? Well, you got to be careful because there's false floor here. And what I don't know that you necessarily need to do it, but what I've always found is to let one of those little guys crawl in here and freeze him when he's about midway between the 2 false floors here, because there's actually 2. And in order to do that, you can use the diffusion missiles and just hit this wall and wait for the freeze effect to get to him in the center, but you have to time it just right. And I have done it that way, but I've also been told that you don't need to do that, you can just kind of hop out of the false floor spot. I don't know if that's true or not. In fact, I don't know that I've ever successfully done it that way. I'll try it a couple times, see if I... Oh, well, see, there you go, I just did it. Okay, so forget what I said. You don't have to bother with that really complicated and difficult strategy. You can just jump enough and get there. That being said, you kind of got to mash the jump button until you get there. So if you don't feel like doing that, you don't think it's worth the time, you'd rather just try the other trick, feel free. I would demonstrate it, but again, you just stand here, wait for that little bugger thing to crawl across, and you want to wait till he's about not quite toward the end of that little platform. He starts dipping into the hole with the false floor in it, then fire your missile. So by the time he gets to the center, he'll be frozen, and you can just roll right over his body and hit the power bomb without falling through. Alright, that being said, let me double check and make sure I know where this last tank is, because I certainly do not want to miss it. You know what? It's actually funny. This when I was reviewing my list here of where all the tanks were, it occurred to me that I missed one during the course of just playing through the game, and that's a little bit embarrassing. That being said, we have to kind of backtrack a little bit to get to it. Could just go right up through that floor, couldn't I? Maybe. Question mark. Maybe I can't. How do I get back up there? Am I not meant to be able to get back up there? Doesn't sound right. No, I can do it through here. That's fine. That's right. Okay, perfect. And these guys are just here to join me again. As soon as you open the door, they just fall on you. I love it. Alright, so we gotta be careful not to fall through the floor again. I probably should have grabbed this one first, but I wasn't thinking. It didn't help that it was right there in front of me and it was convenient, so... At any rate, we're gonna go through here. We don't need to use that little stumpy thing again, but blow it up just because I'm walking through it. It's actually down here, the last tank of this area, and we walked right by it. By we, I mean me, of course. I walked right by it and forgot it was there. And to be fair, I almost always forget this one. It's easy to miss because you don't want to go looking for it when you go through here the first time. If you'll recall, when we came through the sector the first time, these blue parasites were hurting us. And they hurt you quite badly, in fact. And where you find this one is right before you get the Varia suit. Man, I really gotta backtrack quite a bit to get this, don't I? To bomb right here? Yeah, for sure. Getting back through to this, where I was a minute ago, is gonna be fun. This is where we met the SAX the first time. Not the first time, but one of the first times. Yeah, it's all the way down through here, so I apologize for backtracking quite so much here, but I need to get that 100%. So, when I came through here, the Various Suit boss is right through that way, and you don't want to blow up a lot of these little boxes because they have the blue parasites in them, as you can see, so you want to conserve your health and be careful. However, in this bottom corner is a missile tank, or a power bomb tank, rather. No, it is the last missile tank. Yep, that's right, because you wouldn't have power bombs at this point. So, I could have gotten this much, much sooner than now, but I missed it, so that's my bad. Alright, so that is everything in Sector 6. There are 2 on the main deck that we don't have. If you will recall, on the main deck, there was an area behind a green door that we couldn't get through the first time, and then it was also blocked by one of those big parasitic column things that require a power bomb to blow up. So that's why we couldn't get that. So that's going to be the very last one we get. And there is actually one more in the main deck that, honestly, I would never have thought to go look for, but it's going to be the second to last one, and it's actually only accessible if we go through Sector 6 here. So my apologies, I need to backtrack quite a bit to get back up to that point, because I can't go back the way I came because of the false floor situation. But I'll just jump up here as quickly as I can. So like I said, we are going to grab the very last tank in this episode, in fact. So I'll have the 100% completion part done, and that will just leave the remainder of the story to finish. And there isn't much left. In fact, there are only 2 bosses remaining. And one of them you don't get anything from, which is awfully fun. Which, I guess, defeating the final boss and getting an upgrade kind of wouldn't make any sense, because why would you keep playing at that point? At any rate, I have to go back up through here too. That's fine. Like I said, it's very gratifying to just somersault into things and blow them all up. Alright, so we gotta go back up this way. All these blue parasites, they were once so terrifying, and yet now they are no problem at all. In fact, they're nice. Yep, down through this way again. So I had to go in a big circle there to get to this point again, and if I had remembered to grab that tank the first time we went by, we wouldn't have to do all this. So apologies for adding a good 5 minutes onto this, but you gotta do what you gotta do, I suppose. Is this the right way? Yeah. Some of you may be realizing that we're heading back toward the no entry without authorization thing, and you would be correct. Now you're wondering, well, why in the heck are you going back that way when we saw that part of the station jettison off and explode? Well, it's because there's something I couldn't have gotten when I went there the first time that I now can. So we're going to run through here as a wave beam still, which is nice. So I'm technically still on the main deck now. You'll see that the area connecting that section of the ship that fell off and broke off is no longer there because, well, it's gone. And then you'll see that one little gray square right in the center there. That's the one, that last tank we didn't get, so that'll be the last one. That being said, there was something in here that I couldn't get because I didn't have the ability to the first time. And we're going to go grab it now. This is going to be crazy. You're going to love this. Watch this nonsense. Yep. There's a little connecting bridge between the upper and lower halves of that connecting tunnel to that secret lab. And you get to shine spark through the ceiling to grab this power bomb free floating in space. Very, very interesting. I don't know how the heck you would have ever figured that out if you didn't know it was there. But that is the second to last tank, and that just leaves that one. I put that room up there. Here's the problem now, though, is I have to go through this navigation room. That's why I saved this one for second to last. Because once I hit this navigation room, it's going to force me back into story progression. You'll see I can't go back out this way, and I can't go forward either. I have to talk to the computer. Samus, we're done here. Leave the rest of the Federation. We should be preparing to evacuate the station. Are you joking? Do they know how dangerous the X are? How quickly they reproduce? The Federation has taken an interest in the X and SAX. They believe this life form has endless potential applications. This is ridiculous. The X are heartless abominations. What potential could they have? It is not necessary that you understand such matters. The Federation is coming now. You should leave quietly. This is madness. They won't stand a chance here. This station will devour them. What could be worth the risk? Capturing the SAX, of course. Are you serious? Do they really think they can succeed? It will certainly be difficult. They don't expect your help. They knew you would try to destroy the SAX. That's why they stopped sending you support data. The plasma beam modification was ready some time ago, but they withheld it to keep you from engaging the SAX. Yet somehow, you restored that functionality on your own. They also tried to withhold the diffusion missile upgrade because they didn't want you to grow too powerful. But they had already sent it, and you tracked it down. Bravo, Samus. They must cancel this mission. Open a channel to HQ. I won't let this happen. They're already on their way. Fools. So yeah, we find out there's been a conspiracy this entire time. As soon as the Federation ships land, the X will overwhelm them and absorb the knowledge and power of their occupants. The X are just waiting for the hunt to begin, and then they'll spread across the universe. Galactic civilization will end. The X hunger for form, knowledge, and power. They mimic these perfectly, but they cannot copy the soul. They're signal-minded, instinctively seeking to increase in number. They're a plague, and the Federation underestimates their threat. The X must not leave here. I must destroy them all before the Federation arrives. This station has a self-destruct mechanism. I must use it to destroy the X here and on the planet. I must send them to oblivion. Them, the station, and myself if I have to. Sounds like the X are the Flood from Halo, pretty much. But if you recall, we didn't really care about trying to control the Flood, we just kind of nuked them all. And now you'll see, even after talking to the computer, I still can't leave this room. My computer has locked me in here, because he's a jerk. Open the hatch. I have been ordered to confine you until the ships arrive. Don't let them do this. Can't you see what will happen, Adam? Adam? Who is Adam? A friend of mine. And what would this friend advise you to do now? He would know that the only way to end this is to start the self-destruct cycle. He'd know how important it is. Did this Adam care for you? Would he sit in a safe command room and order you to die? He would understand that some must live and some must die. He knew what it meant. He made that sacrifice once. So, he chose life for you, our fair warrior, Samus Aran. Your Adam gave his life so that you might keep yours. For the sake of the universe. How foolish. How dare you? How could you hope to understand, machine? You know that detonating the station in high orbit would not guarantee the complete extinction of the X-parasites, even though the station would be utterly destroyed. You would only succeed in removing the one obstacle to the galaxy's ruin, yourself. You would ignore this simple fact and choose death. When Adam decided who would live, he chose incorrectly. Oh. If you were to alter the station's orbit, then you might be able to include the planet in the vaporization field of the self-destruct detonation. You'd have to start the propulsion sequence now, before the Federation arrives. Samus, this is your last mission. Go to the operation room and adjust the station's orbit to intercept SR-388. You see, Samus looked pretty surprised there. Then return to your ship and escape. Move quickly and stay alive. That's an order. Any objections, lady? So now, we get to proceed, because the computer is our friend now. And some of you may have picked up exactly what that exchange just was there, and you are absolutely correct. For those of you who are still confused, I'll explain it once we get to that part. In fact, it's going to be explained to you, rather, at the end of the game, so... Not that you require an explanation, I'm sure all of you are plenty intelligent enough to understand what's going on, but... To go all the way through this nonsensicalness again, but that's okay. Let me save one final time in here. I guess final is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. In fact, I don't know that I'll have much chance to save very much from now on. The final sequence of this game kind of all goes in one quick loop, and it's all over pretty darn fast. Not dealing with you guys right now. I'm just gonna make my way all the way through here. Man, it's so... Was this tedious when I went through the first time? I don't remember. It Seems like I see new things every time I play through this game. Or just kind of misremember just how tedious certain parts of it were. I guess you guys can live from me. I am going to blow the whole station up after all, and you guys are going to be stuck in it, so... that being said, we're still in Sector 1. We got to weasel our way all the way back out to the main deck still, so... we're going to take care of that in the next episode. I know I said this would be the final tank acquisition. I was half right. There is one tank left, and we're going to get it on our way to the next boss. It's actually right in our path, so that's no big deal. That being said, I will collect that in the next episode. Then we will have our glorious 100% completion glory. I don't know, you know what I might do, just in case, I think what we're going to do is end the game next episode. It might go a little bit longer than 15 minutes, just because there's 2 bosses I need to kill, one being the last one, but it should go pretty quick, so it might be a little longer than normal, but you guys get a little bit of an extra bonus for the finale of the series. So I really appreciate you all watching up to this point, and it's gonna be the end of it next time, so I hope you've enjoyed it so far, because it's about to be over. But until that time, I really do appreciate the views. Thank you all very much for joining me. I will see you in the finale next time. Until that time, have a good evening. This has been Seraphin. Stay classy, internets.